Live from the World Revival, it's the SOGOpod. I'm Frank.
I'm Carly.
I am Reverend Brad.
I'm Kinder.
He's not Kinder.
Today I am.
That's Alan. Welcome back to the SOGOpod, everybody, where we make everything up and nothing
The
matters.
points don't matter.
Nothing matters.
So, Kinder's not here today. He is working like a loser.
Oh, I'm right here.
Oh, I'm sorry. Kinder's right here, everybody. Kinder, tell us about how big your dick is.
Tell some bad jokes like you did last week.
Oh, those are pretty good.
His bad jokes.
Those
were
are
amazing.
dad jokes.
Yeah, it was great.
Those are the
I
jokes
loved it.
dads tell.
I loved it. It's fantastic.
Brad, do you have any dad jokes for us today?
I've got a Zaxby story.
Do you finish? Please fucking tell us.
We don't know. It was Kinder's story. We have no idea what it was.
I'm just gonna go and make it up. He
ate
ate
hot stuff.
He ate some insane sauce.
I'm sorry, my
on
phone's
some
on silence.
on some boneless wings, and then he put it on a Q-tip and shoved it down his pee hole.
Ew.
I could see that.
Ow.
I could see that.
He used insane sauce as a lubricant.
No,
Ew.
it's a catheter.
Like an insane sauce lubricated catheter.
Yeah,
That sounds like a fucking Cannibal Corpse song waiting to happen.
yeah. Yeah.
So, anybody got anything interesting? they wanna talk
There's a
about?
Don't
big
say
spider.
it like that. Tell me about the big spider in the bush, Brad.
There's a big spider in the bush.
There's a
outside.
big spider in the bush outside. Breaking news, everyone. There's a big spider in the bush outside.
It wasn't really that big.
What are you talking about?
It was just kind of ugly.
Then why the fuck are we talking about this big spider?
I don't know.
She brought it up.
Laura pointed it out to me while we were outside earlier.
Okay. I was going to burp away from the microphone and I said, fuck it. I got to edit it anyway. I'm going to leave it in.
Who cares?
Oh, so yeah. There's also a cat.
There's a cat?
Yeah,
What kind of cat?
it's a good cat.
It's a good cat.
Yeah, it's a good.
Is it tasty?
No,
Is it a morsel?
he's dirty. He's a dirty cat right now.
Dirty cat.
He's a dirty cat.
Tell me about the dirty cat.
Yeah, he's so dirty.
He's such a dirty cat.
Yeah, he's
Tell
been
me about
rolling
the
around
dirty
in dirt.
Oh. I like the dirty
I
cat.
feel uncomfortable.
Tell me about the dirty cat, Alan.
I don't have.
Who is the dirty cat?
Where in the
This
world
is
is
our-
Carmen Sandiego?
This is our SOGOpod season finale. The question will be asked, who is the dirty cat?
Season finale.
Yeah.
There's seasons.
Yeah.
This what?
Well, it's like, okay, so you don't watch wrestling, but there was an episode of Raw that that they had on the same day as the first night of Monday Night Football. And randomly there's like, it's the season premiere of Raw.
Wow.
You motherfuckers never go off air. How the fuck can you have season? You've never mentioned a season before in your life. All of a sudden, it's the season premiere.
That didn't make any sense.
And it was a terrible episode.
But fuck WWE. I'm sorry.
No!
Fuck it.
It's terrible.
fuck
It's
WWE.
fucking terrible. You know what? I finally figured out how to quantify the reason why I like wrestling.
You
I would
like
to hear
watching.
this. I
You
wanna hear
like
this.
watching half-naked, sweaty men grapple with each other.
If that was the case, I would only watch porn, and I do that as well. So it's a different story.
This just in: Frank watches gay
I
porn.
don't watch gay porn. I watch pegging videos. It's different. It's different.
Chicks with dicks aren't dudes.
Yeah, it's completely different. They're chicks with dicks. That's why they're not called dudes with dicks, because all dudes have dicks. Duh.
Yeah, but I said you like watching half-naked, sweaty men. That means multiple men, and then you said porn.
I like
So
watching
you
pegging
did
threesome videos, male, female.
Oh,
It's the only way. MMF.
yeah.
CNF. Oh, God. CFNM. Closed female, nude
Naked
male.
male, yeah.
BBC. Big black cocks. BBW. Big bodied women.
But I thought it was big booty women.
No, it's big body.
That was big, beautiful women.
Nope. Oh, you can say big booty. Big body.
ABG.
ABG?
Anal Bukkake Gangbang.
Okay, I like that too.
Yeah.
I like Asian bukkake gang though.
Yeah.
The anal, not so much.
Is there an abbreviation for school girl on a train getting raped? Because that's like
There's
90%
a
porn.
lot of those videos out there. It's
And
like,
they're all
hey,
the
look at
exact
this
same
Japanese
thing.
schoolgirl.
It's not always
and
Japanese.
here's this.
They're not always Japanese.
No,
Sometimes it's just
99%
little.
of the time.
Sometimes it's just like little white girls on like a public
But
bus.
it's always Japanese dudes.
I'm just waiting
No.
on Howard Stern to walk through the door right now.
Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like where this is going.
I like where this is
We
going.
brought this porn star in here. She's gonna masturbate on the microphone. Everybody, give a round of applause.
The only
pause.
You eat this dog food now, okay? I'll give you $100.
The only
bucks
other
to eat this
woman-
dog
the
food.
only
Don't
other
you feel like a
woman-
stupid bitch.
The only other woman in this house is 7 months pregnant, and no.
I wanted to fucking masturbate with the microphone. Okay, here we go. Anyway, I finally figured out how to quantify the reason why I like WWE. Like why I watch pro wrestling in general. It's because it is the best form of performance art that there is nowadays.
No.
It's literally they're going to put two dudes in a ring. They are going to perform this amazing gymnastics athletic display for you live in person in front of thousands of people, and they're also going to be telling a story throughout it.
But it's bad. The performances are bad now.
Not all of them. Some of them are bad. Yes.
No, the wrestling
Not
matches
all of
right now are some of the best wrestling matches you will ever see.
Oh,
the
get
problem
outta here.
is that the overall story is non-existent. They have no idea where they're going.
I don't
That's the
care
problem.
what pro wrestling does now or in the future. Nothing will ever compare to the Attitude Era.
That's the problem with it, because all the fans live in the past and think Attitude Era is so good. Attitude Era had a lot of shit. There's a lot of
Attitude Era
shit.
was
in the
Attitude Era was only good because you were a child.
The Attitude Era was amazing.
That's a good
was
point. That
amazing.
you liked it because it was what you liked when you were a kid, and everybody loves what they liked when they were a
Nostalgia.
kid. Have you ever gone back and watched? Remember how you told me how you went back and watched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and how terrible they were?
Yeah, but
Do
I was
that with
I
the
was
Attitude
4.
Era.
I was 4.
Do that with the Attitude Era.
I have. I actually have Stone Cold Steve
Oh
Austin's
no, that's different. They put
greatest
all their effort
match.
in
They
there.
put all their
tell
good
me,
stuff.
Tell me
Only
about
the
how
good
good
things.
Val Venus was.
There are a few exceptions now. Come on.
That's not. There's a few exceptions now.
There's a lot of exceptions.
Daniel
now.
Bryan's fucking great. Anytime, even though Sheamus is shit and Cesaro's getting buried, anytime they get in the ring together, they put on a great match because they beat the living shit out of each other.
Daniel Bryan is good, I will admit, and that kid from NXT, that
Adrian Neville?
that dude is fucking great.
Adrian Neville's awesome.
But
And
like
Dallas.
a lot of even,
No.
and then the one guy, the Rock's cousin,
Roman
he's
Reigns.
good.
Roman Reigns.
he's good. But the other people, like I was texting you one hour before I ever even moved
Yeah.
back to town. Kane is in a fucking suit.
He's
and
corporate
tie.
Kane.
He
He's-
went back to that?
Yeah, he did.
went back to it.
It's bad.
That's not no.
He
bad.
has two personalities. There's the Demon Kane and there's Corporate Kane.
It's bad.
That's not.
I agree, it's
That's
bad.
Well, and then
not.
there's other Kane where he's just like...
There's just Kane.
I have a soft spot
Who's not a
for,
demon.
And then
or
there's
corporate.
his own personality
There's
where he's
Glenn Jacobs, who's
hardcore
a
libertarian.
I will say this.
And he owns an insurance company.
Yeah.
Which I want that Kane to be a character. I want insurance salesman Kane to be a character.
I will say this about WWE because I mostly
Need to
agree with
buy
you.
a
Like
boat.
the good doesn't necessarily outweigh the bad. There is a lot of bad. That's why we stopped really watching it on Mondays. But the divas have gotten much better. Because most of the time, divas matches are when you just walk out. That's when you take a smoke break
That's
or go
piss-
take a
that's
pee break.
That's the only
when you
time I
leave.
want to watch.
But now, like, the divas are actually worthwhile because AJ's awesome, and so is Paige. Paige is amazing. I
Even
fucking
Nikki
love
Bella
her.
is
The-
pretty
And Nikki
good
Bella's
now.
pretty good too.
The Divas thing is good, and just a little tidbit nostalgia flashing back.
Big
thing.
tit?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing. Actually, yeah, the first pair of titties I ever saw, like as a kid,
Was the pay-per-view?
The pay-per-view
Miss
Raw
Kitty?
Panties
with
match
Miss
or
Kitty when she ripped off her top.
Judgment Day.
That was
90
Armageddon.
Armageddon 2000.
Hey,
Yeah.
who remembers China? Yeah.
Oh.
I actually saw her entire Playboy spread.
No, she does like serious
She has real porn now. Yeah, I saw
yeah.
her entire Playboy spread. There's a porn.
disgusting.
There's a porn with China in which it is a wrestling porno. There's a John Cena and there's a Triple H. It's really interesting.
Didn't her and X-Pac make a sex tape
Yeah.
or something?
Fucking Sports Center.
Xbox.
Wait a minute, is that my phone or your phone?
Mine.
Because mine does it
It
too.
might have been at the same time.
Where is my
Fantasy?
phone? Is my phone over there?
Yes.
You play fantasy?
Sometimes, yeah. I haven't done it this season.
I want like fantasy other things other than
I've been doing
football.
fantasy LCS,
That's fucking terrible.
What's LCS?
League Championship Series.
League of
But
Legends.
League of Legends.
How do you do fantasy of that?
You pick your favorite a group of players from your teams, the various teams, and you make a team out of them, and then you get points based on how they do in the league.
It's just like with football, except for LCS. It's amazing, dude. League of Legends has become the most played game ever.
Which is why you should never play it, because it's popular.
No, quit being a hipster. Stop.
Going back to WWE.
Isn't it just the same thing as Warcraft?
No.
No.
It's a MOBA.
It is a MOBA. It's different. It is based on a Warcraft mod, a Warcraft 3 mod.
Dota.
Called Dota, Defense of the Agents. But it's not.
In which Dota 2 actually has like MLG teams and stuff now. But League of Legends has greatly surpassed Dota 2 or any other MOBA.
Dota 2
any other game
got
for that
started
matter.
a lot later than League of Legends.
No, it didn't. Dota 2 was
it did.
No, Dota 2 was the original.
No, not Dota 2.
Dota 2?
Dota was the original.
Dota
but then
was
Dota
2. Dota 2 was developed, and League was in the works.
No,
but
League
Dota
was
2
already out. League came out back
Dota
like
2
in
came-
2008.
Dota
I
2
remember
came
seeing
out last
boxed
year.
copies of
Are you
League.
sure?
Yeah. There were originally boxed copies of League when it was a paid product that you bought.
Dota 2
that was
came
one of
out
the
last
first-
year.
Yeah.
first tab.
It's been around for a while. Dota 2 came out,
Last year.
technically came out last
I
year.
remember.
It's been in beta for like 2 years.
I remember because when I was watching the Yogscast videos at Christmas time, they do all those live streams and stuff. And Hannah of the Yogscast, not your wife Hannah, she does this Christmas Advent calendar thing where she will she gets a gift every day and she opens different gifts every day. And at a certain point, she started bringing on other people from the Yogscast and was asking them, "What are you most excited for?" Right? And pretty much everybody said Dota 2. So it either came out last year or it came out the beginning of this year.
It was towards the middle of last year. I think.
It was December. No, it was July 9th, 2013.
Yeah.
I was right. Towards the middle of last year. Called it.
That's okay. All right. That's
So
right.
there you go.
But it's been in beta for like 2 years.
Yeah.
But it's made by Valve. It is a free-to-play game, just like League.
All right.
So, Alan, Frank, and I went to church today.
I know. I was there with you.
Yeah.
So, Brad, we all three went to the same
yeah.
church today.
Yeah, we went to church today.
Since you weren't there, we're going to talk to you about what happened.
Oh my God.
Okay, so we mainly, I'm just going to say this. Frank and I mainly went partly because...
No, we're going to dispense with all the bullshit. We went because there's free food.
Well,
That's the reason
No,
I started.
We were
not
invited.
really.
No, we were
we
invited.
were invited by Frank's parents. They wanted us to come with the kids so that they could see Mama Betty, which is Frank's grandmother, and Mitch and Vicky and everybody. It's fine.
just to
And we
reiterate,
were also demanded by Alan that we
Yes.
come because he didn't want to be by himself.
Just to reiterate, me and Frank are cousins.
Yes.
We have the same grandmother. My wife was also singing. My grandmother pretty much said, "You have to come."
It was mainly because I didn't go for the food because I feel like that's very disrespectful.
Okay,
I'm not a fan of church, but I still don't want to be like, I'm only coming for the food.
Okay, so
That's
this
the
is
reason I started going to church.
okay. So let me break it down for the listeners out there. I am an atheist, but I'm not a militant atheist, so I don't want to pick fights with anybody. I don't believe in God. If you want to believe in God, that's fine. It's cool, man.
Just don't care. That's
Just
the way
don't care.
atheists should be.
So you believe in God? Cool. You want to talk about it? We'll talk about it. But I don't want to
You're
try
like
to convince
looking
you.
at me, and
I just
and-
because I have to look at somebody. It's not you in particular. I look at Brad, but Brad's like
Brad knows
everything but a Christian. Like he is a Christian, but with with the massive amount of drinking and debauchery that he gets down to, he is like the living embodiment. Like Sodom and Gomorrah was Smite. And it came back as Brad Tucker in a single form. All thousands of souls killed and turned into pillars of salt. Brad Tucker.
I'm a nihilist that believes in Jesus.
Yes, like most Christians, he is a nihilist.
I can't really classify myself.
You're kind of like me.
I'm part of the apathetic church.
Yeah.
I guess just
A nihilist.
I was trying to think of an ism.
I guess
We'll go with
apatheism. I guess.
apathyism.
Apatheism is
That's
pretty
a
I
good
just-
name. I want to Google that now. See if that's a thing.
I just
like
really
you just
give
don't
a shit.
care
Yeah, I just
about
don't
God.
care.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
It's not whether he exists or where he doesn't. It's just, I just don't care.
Exactly.
Leave me
I
alone.
just don't
Apatheism.
care. And like, whereas my wife grew up in church,
Yeah.
her grandfather is a preacher. I mean, her parents are just.
But
very
she has
devout.
progressive ideals.
She
She
does.
does. She really does.
She has
Yeah.
very progressive ideals. But back to what we were getting to.
I got a couple of things I want to say first.
Apatheism is a thing. It's
Really?
on Wikipedia, and it's defined as pragmatic or practical atheism.
Well, I guess I'm an apatheist.
Okay, so
we're part of the same religion.
Yeah, I'm
So-
a
Hey,
Hey, so
pragmatic.
can we go around
Alan-
knocking on doors?
No, because then
Alan
that makes it a
Frank-
religion.
Alan,
No.
Frank, and I are all apatheists, apparently.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Brad's a nihilist who believes in Jesus. If you want to, what's a good way to a jewel of denialism?
That was
man.
awful.
That's pretty
that was
bad.
pretty terrible.
But I like it.
All right.
Hey, it's Kindred.
Hey, everybody! That was like the start of the fucking that song, wasn't it?
You know how much Apple sucks?
Apple really sucks, guys. Fucking, if you want to buy a Mac, why don't you just fucking staple your hand to a piece of cardboard?
Anyway,
Fucking buy a dog and throw it over a bridge if you want to buy a Macintosh. I mean, God, why don't you just fucking like gas a million Jews? Fucking Mac fag.
wow. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
It's accurate.
getting back to church this morning. It started out fairly normal. It's just normal church, right? I mean, I didn't have any foreboding feeling. I was just sitting there. I was like, okay, it's church, not a big deal. So they sang songs, and one thing I want to mention is because in one of these songs,
I'm gonna
It was
underlay
one of
some
the-
epic music under
it was
this,
one
by
of the
way.
more
Like,
progressive, I guess, more modern songs, and it wasn't in the hymnal or anything. They just had the words up on the wall being projected, and it's just a thing that most modern churches do. But I didn't know this church did.
I did not.
because
I
this
will
is
say this.
this is a very small country
It has
church.
been there for like 200 years.
Yeah.
I will say this: Concord Baptist Church, while being a super small church, a very small, what's the word I'm looking for?
Congregation?
Congregation. Yes, it's a very small congregation. They have probably one of the best church logos I've ever seen.
They really do.
That's that's
yeah.
a fucking excellent church logo. I'm like,
It-
that is a fucking who designed? Because that is excellent church.
Even
logo.
Hannah pointed that out to me when it popped up on the screen. She was like, "Wow, that's cool."
It's not as good
When
as
did that
ours.
happen?
You know what ours is?
What?
It's the Celtic knot made out of leaves.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah, but I mean, you go to
But
Duke
for a
Community,
literally
I
a
mean,
church that has less than 100 people,
Yeah.
at
less
any
than
given-
50,
less than
people.
50 people at a given time. This logo looks like it was designed by a professional.
Yeah.
Like I'm
It
pretty sure
looks
they
really good.
paid somebody for this logo. But I see this logo. Like if you can imagine a kite. Okay? Now basically cut a cross out of the middle of the kite.
Look it up.
If it pops up on Google, it'll pop up on Google. I might post a picture somewhere.
Anyway.
It's a really good church logo. Like
Yeah.
I'm just like this.
Yeah, anyway, it starts out normal church service, not a big deal. And then they sing one of the songs, and like I said, it's one of the more progressive songs, and I wasn't singing along. Caden was trying to sing along with it. That's why I was trying to get him to see where the screen was. And one of the lyrics in the chorus of this song, it just said...
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus.
No,
is
not
my
that one.
favorite
Not
chorus
that one.
ever.
It
Just
was-
Jesus, Jesus,
Mine.
Jesus!
I'll tell you
No,
about this
it
in a
was...
minute.
It was a different song, but it just said, "Behold, he comes riding on the clouds," and I just had this image in my head every time that line came up, of like
fucking Goku with a power
That's
pole
no,
ready to
it
go.
was
just
like it really was. It was like Goku, but wearing a white robe.
right robe with a Jesus beard with a power
Jesus-
pole
See,
extend.
that was similar to what I was imagining, but it was Jesus like with his arms open, like he was on the cross,
See-
but on the nimbus.
I would be okay with imagining that if every time I looked up the screen, it didn't say, "Behold, he comes riding on the Kuwoods," because there were 2 O's and no L.
There's a Baptist song that was in the hymnal printed like this. There's power in the blood, power in
Power,
the blood,
yeah.
and it was spelled P-A-W-R.
Well, how,
Yeah,
how
no,
about-
they
how about
did that too. They did that on the screen. It was hyphen per.
Power.
How
purr.
about when the roll is called up yonder? When the roll is called up yonder, that song always drove me freaking crazy. I was like, how goddamn backwoods are we?
When the road
And you know, a
is
lot of
called
those old
yonder,
Baptist people, they hate
we'll hunt the
fucking modern
deer.
music, you know?
Yeah,
and
they
they
really
think you
do.
should only listen to that. Well, guess what? That music was modern at some point, too, and it was...
Okay, you know what? Okay, so I'm gonna. I'm not no longer riding with this person to work because I work somewhere else now. But the guy I used to try to work with, it's weird. Like sometimes I'll get into his car in the morning, ready to go to work, and it's like Magic 98.1, which is our local oldies station. Sometimes I'll get in there and it's like the country music station, and sometimes I'll get in there and it's the fucking like Joy 93.3, the fucking Jesus radio.
But look, all right,
No, but no. Again, it is the worst fucking thing in the world when you get in the car in the morning and you have to listen to Pastor Willie Sykes. It's like, Jesus said that the lamb shall inherit the spicy meatball pizza. And on the seventh day, he said unto his flock, do not beget the fish that held the pie.
You do that too well.
Yeah, he really does, doesn't he?
You ever seen the black preachers where in between every single sentence they have to wipe off their head with a rag and go, aha, and the Lord said, aha, that he would come back, aha, and he would bring, aha.
There was actually, you say black preacher.
That was my Reverend Lovejoy
there was a
impersonation
church
from The Simpsons.
that I went to when I was like 13 or 14 years old. It was my mom was a member of it, and I would go with her sometimes. And I'm not going to name any names or whatever because he's actually kin to my wife's father. Anytime he would preach, he would go, and the Lord said and he would just scream, and it would, the first time I ever heard it, I literally jumped in the pew.
That's the power coming over you.
And it scared me so bad, and I think that's one of the things that turned me away from church. It's like, why am I going here and these people are yelling at me? I don't understand.
I love the preachers. Okay, so when I was a kid, I went to a lot of. First place was the Church of Jesus Christ.
Right.
Not the Church of Jesus Christ and Latter-day Saints.
Right.
But Jesus Christ.
Church of Christ?
Church of Christ, yeah.
Where women that can't wear pants?
Right, yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, hard fucking core.
Music is a sin, period.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, it was where...
Carly's taking selfies.
So, weirdly enough, it was where my brother learned to love Star Trek. Because the pastor was a huge fan of Star Trek.
Okay.
It was where I had my first crush at 4 years old.
Nice.
On this I'm guessing some high school age nerdy girl who went there. I'm guessing was forced to go there. And just and it was just all these life experiences that came from this church. But the preacher was the most boring fucking man in the world. I hate boring preachers.
Well, he was a Star Trek fan. So.
Okay.
Wow.
Well, okay, fine. So he was he wasn't really energetic. He just did his sermon, got on the business. It was a lot of singing, and we went Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night.
Oh, fuck.
The whole fucking 9 yards. And you wonder why I stopped going to church. You kind of wonder, oh no, all that church.
I go to church that often.
I really need to ask my mom why we stopped going to that church, because we were still living in Thomaston. We started looking for other churches. There's probably a story there that I could probably tell.
Altar Boys.
I don't know, but it was weird. It was a weird church. It's one of those non-denominational churches, so it's fuck it, we'll get the Bell kids from the Catholic Church and get them to do shit. And fuck it, we'll get the wine and the fucking crackers. I don't give a shit. Just take everything.
So yeah. Anyway, Goku riding on Cloud. That's what I saw in my head when that happened.
I don't want to cut all that out.
What?
Ow.
What? You don't have to. I'm just
it was really good.
Reiterating where we were.
I'll cut myself commenting on it out, but I will not cut the entire.
I'll cut my life into pieces.
This is my last.
The other thing that happened before shit went down at this church this morning was he said...
Never has the phrase "shit went down" at this church been uttered.
Yeah. The other thing that happened before shit went down was that he was talking about, I don't even know what he was talking about. I was zone fuck. He said something about anti-God. I don't know what he was talking about, but he said anti-God. But I misheard him, and I was sitting there, and the moment he said it, you can ask Frank, I reached down and picked up my purse, and I had my phone in my purse, and I started typing notes to myself so I wouldn't forget. And I thought he said hentai God.
That is the best God.
And I was just sitting there and I was just like...
praise be unto him, the 8-tentacled wonder with 3 dicks, and who comes a magical sparkling fluid.
That transforms into anal beads.
The anal beaded God. The hentai God. He is our Lord. He is our Savior.
Uh-huh.
He comes from the clouds on a subway train.
But I swear to God, I thought he
He
said
is the
hentai god.
forbidden one.
And I was trying so hard not to start laughing. I was just sitting there, I was like, hentai god. I didn't even realize what he said until he said anti something else later on in this sentence. I was just like, oh, okay, I get it.
I do worship
And he sent his only daughter to Earth, La Blue Girl.
to get raped by thousands of tentacled aliens. Oh, thank you.
All right.
That was the
Amen.
most blasphemous thing ever.
Probably was. Probably was. If there was a reason to go to hell, it would be that.
Anyway, and then after that, it was just basic shit. And then shit went down. And if, Alan, you want to kind
I
of...
just want to give a little backstory
Yeah.
of who this preacher is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name his name.
No.
He was fired because he was fucking all the wives of the deacons. And
Wait, what?
All the crazy shit.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he's fired.
Oh, shit.
And he claims he retired.
Yeah.
But he didn't. He was fired.
He
I saw him
fired.
crying one day after service at Jumbo China Buffet.
And
It's
actually,
probably the day he got caught.
Probably.
and
Yeah.
this
I
particular
was crying
preacher,
about Jesus.
I thought about this, but several years ago, when me and my wife were at Verizon Wireless getting some phones or something, I don't remember.
I would assume it would
But
be getting.
She
Driver eyes
she
with
there-
a sign.
at that point in time, she worked at a preschool.
Yeah, I
at
told
the
you.
Catholic
At
church.
the Catholic preschool. Well, she got a discount through Verizon because she worked there.
Yeah.
Well, this particular preacher was standing beside us when we were doing that. When he heard that she got the discount for working at that preschool, he automatically went on a tangent. Well, why do the Catholics get a discount, but I don't? I'm the preacher at Rock Baptist Church. And all this, that, and the other. And that there just made me despise this man. Just because of how retarded he sounded.
So, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Oh, well, we prefer the term "artarded."
See, I didn't know any of that stuff when we first got there. I didn't know who this man was. I just saw him walk up and start talking, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to zone out for an hour. And just whatever. Basically.
Now, Nick, let me throw in real quick. That
Yeah.
particular preacher is not the pastor
No,
of
no.
said church that we're talking about.
No.
The pastor of this church is actually a pretty cool guy.
My mother-in-law, Frank's mom, actually, she was sitting right next to me, and she actually, after he said some things, she actually looks at me, her wide-eyed, and she goes, "He's not the normal preacher here." She said, "Don't judge us, please." Basically, and I'm just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, basically, he started off his sermon with talking about Pearl Harbor.
Well,
Which,
You know you're in
Was-
for a good time when your preacher starts off talking about Pearl Harbor.
I
about
swear.
a massacre that happened 60 years ago.
I swear, that's what he started talking about. But yeah, he started talking about Pearl Harbor. I said, I don't remember. It may be better if somebody repeats some of the things he said, because I don't remember very well. Starts talking about Pearl Harbor, the Pearl Harbor. He starts talking about
He
Pearl
starts
Harbor.
talking about the Pearl Harbor.
And I don't really know why he was talking about it. He did kind of lead in that, the last thing he said was, the men were asleep, and things, I don't even fucking know. He did say that a couple more times throughout the rest of the thing.
His entire sermon was essentially like, hey, we're asleep on the job as Christians.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
now we're
basically.
becoming the minority
Yeah.
of the world.
Exactly.
And then he started talking about how we live in a progressive society. As a country, we have gotten a lot more progressive. And he started talking about how the Supreme Court ruled in 30 states now it is legal for same-sex couples to get married, which is fucking awesome.
Or it's just not illegal, at least in 30 states.
Yeah, it's in some states it's still being reviewed or something, and in some it's completely legal. But it's either way, it's on its way, which is awesome. It's fantastic.
I don't give a shit about that. I just want pot.
Yeah, I know.
I
right?
agree.
Right?
I agree with that too.
Fuck
But
it. Let the gay people get married. Just give me the fucking pot.
let the gay people get married first, and then give us pot.
No,
That's-
get the
that's
pot
how it
first.
works.
I want the pot first. Because the pot will edge everybody out. And then nobody will be like, fuck gay people. They'll be like, no. They'll be like, no.
And the pot affects me a lot more than dick.
I don't know. We can...
But after he mentioned that the Supreme Court ruled that yada yada yada, he started talking about how being gay is a sin.
It's not my decision. You're not my enemy. The Bible says it's a sin. But
It's in the book.
Here's my thing. Here's my logic when he was saying that.
Before he even started talking about the gay thing, he started talking about, he said, I remember when it went to the Supreme Court that women got to choose to kill their babies. And I was just like, oh my God, no, he is not talking about this in church. He is not doing this.
It's because a church issue.
This is
a life.
The biggest problem I had with it is not that he has his own opinions, because that is perfectly fine. Everyone has a right to their own opinions.
No,
but you are in a church with children who understand what you're saying. And when you're, like, you don't know what these little kids, like, these little kids are between, like, 7 and 12. They may be currently having issues with identifying themselves, you know? Like, I don't know what I'm feeling about.
They could be pregnant.
But that's the point. That's the point, is what, it's no longer, okay, the Bible says this, you got to do this, because that's how society used to be.
Yeah.
The Bible was the law. Now it's when children are when children are at that impressionable age where you have to scare the shit out of them to make them think that this is bad.
My son was in this room when he was doing this shit. That's what made me so mad. It's because, granted, he wasn't really paying attention because he didn't give a shit, which is kind of awesome, but at the same time, but he's in this room and he knows what's this guy's talking about, mostly. Like, he can understand what's going on.
Right.
And I'm not saying that I think my son is gay, but I'm
All
saying
he hears is
you
Mario
don't know.
Mario Yoshi.
Right, yeah. Most of the time it's just
Yeah.
the Mario. Literally, okay, so, yeah, going off that line of thinking, literally when he was like, everyone, if you bow your heads in prayer.
Bow your hairs.
Bow your hairs in prayer. If you want to accept Jesus Christ in your life, please say this, blessed one. Literally, while that was happening, you know what was going on in my head? That was literally what was in my head, was the Mario 2 music. I was just like, bowed my head. And then after that was done, when he went to his little next bit, which was like, and if you agree with what I'm saying, raise your hand. Which basically what he said was like, essentially like, want to take a survey of how many people in the room he could just hate. Basically, like, who in this room do I not like? Oh, the fucking asshole with the short hair and the goatee. That's
He actually said at one point, he said, I don't know if anybody in this room is homosexual, but you're not my enemy, but what you do is sinful. And I was just sitting there and I'm like, I really want to just shake his hand and be like, hi, I'm pansexual. Am I your enemy? Like, that's really, I just wanted to do it so bad, but at the same time I didn't.
God's enemy.
There were 2 lesbians in this room.
The devil.
Look, in all honesty, you going off of that, the whole the lesbians being there, what were they expecting?
Fucking Sports Center.
The thing is, though, is that I've been to church before. This is not my first time going to church. I went to church as a kid. I went to church last year. You know, I probably went to church earlier this year. I don't fucking remember.
Right.
Never have I had to sit through a sermon that was that.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly.
And I was just
when
fucking mind blown, man.
Homosexual people understand that primitive and Southern Baptists do not agree with their lifestyle. That's just like if Jesse Jackson were to go to a Klan rally. What the fuck are you expecting when you get there?
Okay, yeah.
You kind of
I kind of understand where you're coming from, but just because people are homosexual or just because people are gay or lesbian or bisexual or whatever, it doesn't matter. They can, if they want to be a part of a certain religion, then they should have that choice.
I agree
they have
with
that
you.
choice, but they're going to a Baptist church and not.
I'm not knocking that
Not
at all.
your
If they want to go,
church.
if they want to go, they can go. But what I'm saying is, if you go, be ready for the repercussions that are going to happen, because you know that these 75-year-old people that grew up back in the 50s, that, you know, when Baptist religion was the thing, that's still ingrained in their minds.
Yeah.
You know,
If they want to go to a church where, I mean, because
where people don't care.
All right,
Exactly.
so to summarize, who wants to have the closing remarks? Because we're going to go take a break. We're at 43 minutes.
Already?
Oh,
Yeah.
This is just my church is a good church because I could walk in there.
I mean, honestly,
I could walk
I'm
in
not
there
one for
with
church,
a
but I
gay-
would go to your church.
with a gay rainbow on a cut-off shirt, no pants, barefoot, smoking a joint.
Is this
and
what
holding
you
a beer.
think gay people do?
The
No,
thing-
I'm saying everything. I could do everything that's wrong and walk into that church and still sit down and everybody just shake their hand. You know?
And we'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the SOGOpod.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, so it's time for the news. Frank, you want to sing a song with me?
Sure.
Okay.
Here's the news, let's grab some booze. The Illuminati and the Jews control the flow. It's kind of screwed. News.
fuck.
News. Okay. Frank sent me all these. If you're afraid of spiders, here's the house you shouldn't buy.
Oh.
This makes me nervous. There is a home in Weldon Spring, Missouri, in a prime location on a country club's golf course that, from the outside, looks like any family's dream abode. But something lurking on the inside drove its previous owners away and has left it vacant for 2 years.
What might that be, Carly?
Ghosts. No.
Oh.
When the previous owners bought the Whitmore Country Club home in 2007, they did so not knowing that it had an infestation of thousands of brown recluse spiders. The brown recluse is a poisonous spider common in the south and central U.S. Brown recluse spiders' bites are not necessarily deadly, but as Jamal Sandigue with the University of Kansas told KMOV-TV, its bite will make you wish you were dead. We all know about brown recluse spiders because we live in Georgia.
Fucking necrosing.
When Brian and Susan Trost, the home's last owners, bought the 1988 home about 7 years ago for $450,000, no.
It's like $1 a spider.
Not bad.
Oh.
According to the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, they weren't aware of the problem, but Susan Trost got her first taste on day one, and the infestation only became more apparent from there. The newspaper reported that while neither the woman nor her husband spotted spiderwebs on their initial viewings of the home, they saw several shortly after moving in. And here's from the article.
Brown recluses don't really make windows.
Sorry,
They
I had to
hide
burp.
in like boots and shoes and shit.
Yeah.
It's even worse. That means there's more than just brown recluses there.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
And-
wow.
This is from the article. In the following days, she saw spiders and their webs every day. They were in the mini blinds, the air registers. Air registers?
Yeah,
What
the
is
vents.
it?
British people?
Oh, just the
Well,
the big vents
yeah,
that
the
just
big vent.
the air return.
Where it's
Yeah.
got the filter at.
Yeah, okay. The pantry ceiling, the fireplace. Their exoskeletons were falling from the can lights.
Ooh.
Once, when she was showering, she dodged a spider as it fell from the ceiling and washed down the drain.
Ooh.
A month after living in the home, her 4-year-old son screamed frantically from the basement, and Trost saw a spider about the size of a $50 inches from his foot.
It's not.
I didn't know that couldn't be a brown recluse. They don't get that big.
In coverage a couple of years ago from KMOV-TV, Susan Trost described the spiders as bleeding out of the walls.
That is the one thing, like, I'm the type that I'm not scared of shit. Like, I've grown up in the country. I'm just not scared of shit. Snakes, whatever, nothing bothers me.
Right.
Things that buzz and sting,
Yeah.
I'm terrified of them. I hate them. I absolutely hate them. Hornets, yellow jackets, wasps, bumblebees, what the fuck ever. I hate them.
Yeah.
I was asleep in the bedroom one day. It was when I was working nights down yonder. I wake up, and there's this fucking huge hornet in the bedroom, like behind the blinds, hitting up against the window. And I literally jumped up out of the bed, ran out of the bedroom, and Hannah's like, what's wrong with you? And I felt like this much of a man afterwards. When Hannah like walks in there with her flip-flop and just like smacks the thing and then goes and throws it in the trash can. She's like, there, you can go back to bed, you bitch. Like, wow.
I remember when I was a kid, I had, I think I was at somebody's house for lunch or something, and it was me and Jamie and her family, and her sister was there, and we were sitting out on the screened-in porch eating lunch, and there was a bumblebee flying around that was bugging all of us while we were eating, and I swear to God, it landed on the screen of the porch, and her sister picked up a fork, threw it, and stabbed straight through it. And I was just like, dude, are you a ninja?
Fucking bullseye?
What the fuck was it? It freaked me out. And I remember it to this day, just this bee landing on this thing, and she just throws a fork and it just stabs it. And I was like, dude, what?
Wow. The guy off of
And I'm
Mystery
gonna
Man
need
that
you to-
throws the forks.
Oh, yeah.
Estimates of how many spiders were in the home range. What? What?
Estimates of the number of spiders that were in the home range from...
Oh, range. But the highest number topped out at 6,000.
Jesus.
The homeowners took measures.
Midges.
The homeowners took measures to have the spiders professionally eradicated, but the Post-Dispatch reported that they were never fully gone. A year after purchasing the home, the couple filed a lawsuit against the home's prior owners for not revealing the spider problem. Legal proceedings stretch on for years, but eventually jurors awarded the family $472,110.
The best part would be if, like, they took the other family to court and it's just two spiders in, like, human clothes and, like, I didn't see the
MCP
problem. Yeah.
Hey, y'all, you know there were spiders in there.
I didn't even know there was spiders in this house. How can
you do every voice from that show?
It gets better. It gets better. So they were awarded that much money. An amount the Post-Dispatch reported that was never collected because the defendant's insurance claimed the owners didn't have coverage for this and thus would not pay.
Wow.
The defendant.
I'm sorry, your insurance didn't get as specific as 6,000 spiders living in my wall.
The
It only
defendants.
covers up to 5,000.
Only 5,000 spiders. Sorry, you signed up for $5,000 spider insurance. I mean, that's your problem.
I know you've been paying
$6,000.
$5 extra a month for that, but
We'll cover the 5,000 spiders, but the other 1,000 spiders, that's your problem.
The defendants later filed for bankruptcy.
That's sad.
Wow.
That is actually sad.
The trusts
I mean,
move
the
out.
spiders could have just infested after they moved out, and they didn't really know what was. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could have.
The trusts moved out of the home, which is now owned by Federal National Mortgage Association. Since then, McCarthy Pest Control was commissioned to get rid of the spiders before the home can be sold again. The Post-Dispatch reported that the pest company tinted and fumigated the home recently. The cost of the technique that should leave nothing alive afterward, according to the company's owner, cost about $14,000.
Jesus.
Joke.
Got a question for you.
Yeah.
Buying a house,
Yeah.
which you had to choose.
Mm-hmm.
Constant spiders, constant roaches, constant haunting.
Haunting.
Oh, I would have to go with.
What kind of spiders?
Yeah, what kind of spiders? Just a variety.
Just like the shit you see in the corner, you know, those little fucking
Those like big ass
ones that won't hurt
skinny
you, but they're
legs.
annoying.
Now, are we talking about granddaddy long legs?
No, we're talking like the ones that just have the huge ass.
Like wolf spiders.
They look scary, but they're not. No, just like house spiders. Just like they look scary as fuck, but
They don't really do
should
anything.
not.
No.
Okay.
yeah.
Or roaches, or
I think I'd rather have the spiders
than haunting.
than a haunting because, like, well, the thing is, I can get rid of spiders.
You can get rid of ghosts.
You can't get rid of ghosts.
Yeah, you can.
You can't get rid of any of them.
I say haunted.
Oh, you can't get rid of any of them. So you have
They
to live
just
with them.
this
for
is
the
where
rest
you
of
living, yeah.
your life? Okay.
I say haunted.
Are they?
I say spiders because they'll keep the other things out.
Are they malevolent ghosts, or are they just ghosts that just hang out and you just see them every now and then?
It just fucks with shit, like, you know, like ghosts, like
Cuts
knock-
lights off, knocks
scares
plates
the
off
shit
the
out
check
of you, but it's
counter.
really nothing that bad.
I'll just go with ghosts.
Yeah, I say ghosts.
No, spiders.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll-
Next,
Because I know I'd get used to the ghosts after a while, knocking shit over, but
Still, that
that's
keeps
an
you up at night.
investment. Yeah,
That keeps you up at night.
because like all the plates are gonna break, all the pictures they're gonna break.
Spiders don't necessarily keep you up at night,
All
even
the
if you know
lights
they
are
might
gonna
be
blow.
around, because the spiders, you know, they might crawl on you, but they don't really keep you up.
Like, how many times am I gonna wake up in the morning and see that my entire dining room set has been stacked up like in like some weird
No,
configuration?
I'd pay money to see that happen.
Well, it's just like you go to bed, everything's normal. You
How
wake
much
up
are we
and your
talking?
shit's
Because
all
I can come to
stacked
your
up.
house tonight.
Yeah, you could.
I don't have enough money to pay for that.
Oh, okay.
It's worth it though. I mean, that would be a neat thing.
Like all four of your chairs are balanced and your table's
if you were
upside down on
expecting
top
it, it wouldn't be worth it. But if you weren't expecting it, and you just walk.
But how
in,
annoying is that? Because the ghost isn't going to take it down and fix it. So now you got to fix it. Possibly damage your dining room set.
You're right.
Or you just
With the spiders, the worst you got to worry about is a bunch of spiders. They're going to live in the corners. You're never going to see them. They're going to eat all the bugs that try to get in your house. So you're never going to have bugs getting in your house.
So spiders are kind of a good thing.
Yeah.
I'd still say ghosts.
Just especially if they're just house spiders. It look like, imagine a corner of your house
Frank,
just filled with spiders.
Frank, if you had ghosts, you could turn your house into a haunted hotel and make money.
Like a haunted bed and breakfast.
You can't make money on spiders.
Why do people pay money
You can make
to go
money
to a
on
haunted
ghosts.
hotel, but they don't pay money to go to a roach place where
Like
you
a
might
roach
see
motel?
roaches? Yeah.
Because
Nobody likes roaches.
No.
I know,
Everybody's
right?
seen roaches.
Like if you logically, if people pay money to sleep in a place where ghosts apparently haunt, then they should also be willing to spend money to go to a house infested with spiders. It's the perfect money making opportunity.
all right,
The Spider
spider.
Hotel.
next news.
Hotel for spiders.
Pornhub. Ha! There, I got you. There, it's about porn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pornhub.
I
Yeah.
like Pornhub.
I mean,
Pornhub
X
Times
stands for
Square. Pornhub Times
Pornhub.
Square
New Vista X
billboard
videos.
meets stiff
X-videos.
opposition.
All right, repeat the headline again one more time.
Well, if you pay attention.
No.
I'm not going to repeat it.
We're talking about porn.
Pornhub Times Square billboard meets stiff opposition comes down.
Oh.
Good job, HuffPost.
Yeah, giggity.
Enjoyed that.
I'm right.
It was a case. Oh my God, no! It was a case of premature evacuation.
Oh, shit.
This guy could be, whoever wrote this could be my best friend.
No, it keeps going. It keeps going. A Pornhub billboard erected Monday in Times Square has come down almost as quickly as it went up. The sign, which displayed the winning entry in a contest for the non-pornographic ad concept, read, "All you need is hand," with two hands forming a heart.
That's beautiful.
But
That is beautiful.
the relatively tame campaign seemed to meet stiff opposition. Pornhub Vice President Corey Price told the Huffington Post the Doubletree Hotel, which occupies the building where the sign was mounted, objected strongly enough to have it removed early Wednesday. Our initial agreement with City Outdoor, the company that owns the billboard space, was that we had full approval for the ad to be placed in the initial location, Price said. A Doubletree...
This is all allegory for rape right now.
A Doubletree employee contacted by HuffPost declined to comment. A request for comment to Hilton, the hotel's parent company, was not immediately returned. Now Pornhub is scouting alternative sites for the ad in New York City and other metropolitan areas, Price said. But the mainstream campaign hasn't gone away entirely. To bolster the marketing, Pornhub put together a video with the Gotham rock choir that melds the Beatles' classic All You Need Is Love with Pornhub's All You Need Is Hand parody version. We're not sure the Fab Four would have approved, but what the heck.
I prefer to call it the Fat Four.
You were talking about the Hilton. All right, I'm pretty sure one of the Hilton's videos is on Pornhub.
That's a good point.
So,
Yeah.
you know.
One night in Paris.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Backpacker brings 3-inch leech from travels in Vietnam up her nose.
Come
And,
on.
and for some reason, leech is in all caps.
Well, that's how the mirror writes.
Dan-
Leech!
Daniela Liverani carried the bloodsucker, which was as long as her forefinger and as thick as her thumb, in her nostril for a month before doctors removed it. A British backpacker brought an unwanted souvenir home from her travels in Vietnam in the form of a slimy 3-inch leech wedged up her nose. Daniela Liverani was traveling around Southeast Asia when she started suffering persistent nosebleeds. The 24-year-old assumed it was nothing more than a burst blood vessel. Days later, after she returned home to Edinburgh, she spotted something poking out from her right nostril and thought it was just a blood clot. But last week she was rushed into A&E at Edinburgh's Royal Infirmary. God, I can't fucking talk. A&E at Edinburgh's Royal Infirmary after discovering a leech had been living in her nose for a month. And then there's a picture of it. Daniela, originally from Glasgow.
Let's go.
Daniela, originally from Glasgow, said, about 2 weeks before I came home from Asia, I started having nosebleeds. I had fallen off a motorbike just before they started, so at first I thought I must have a burst blood vessel. After I got home, the nosebleeds stopped, and I started seeing something sticking out of my nostril. I just thought it was congealed blood from the nosebleeds. Even when the leech started to make its way out of her nose, bartender Daniela still thought it was a blood clot. She said, I saw him so many times, but I just sniffed him back up. I tried to blow him out and grab him, but I couldn't get a grip on him before he retreated back on
Oh, it was moving! She saw it moving! Why did she let it go that long?
When I was in the shower, he would come right out as far as my bottom lip, and I could see him sticking out over the bottom. No.
Alan! You picked this story!
So
Why?
So when that happened, I jumped out of the shower to look really closely in the mirror, and I saw ridges. No!
Oh,
you
that's when you decided to do something about it. When you saw ridges. If you see fucking potato chips just sitting in a bowl, they're fucking potato chips. You don't fucking wait till they got ruffles.
When you see something hanging out of your nose, you see something hanging out past the tip of your nose, you just grab the bitch and pull it out. You don't fucking sit there, I'm going to jump out and look in the mirror.
Like that. They don't come out like that.
I don't give a shit.
You gotta burn them.
Oh my god.
You should have learned that from Metal Gear.
That's when I realized he was an animal. My friend Jenny and I called NHS 24 and we were told to get to accident and emergency as soon as possible. Daniela was whisked into a treatment room where a nurse and a doctor examined her nose using a torch, forceps, and tweezers, and that's a torch in British terms, not an actual
like not a torch.
Wooden
Although
fire
British
torch.
medicine is probably years enough behind for them to be using a real torch to examine your nose.
She said the staff were horrible. She's so concerned with that she got a fucking leech in her nose.
The staff were horrible because I had a leech in my nose and I saw for 3 weeks before I got it removed.
She said the staff were horrified. No, they were horrified. I'm sorry.
Oh,
they were
well, they are horrible too.
The doctor used a nose forceps. What? Nose? Those are a thing?
Yeah, spread the nose apart. For when stupid people get leeches in their nose.
Nose forceps to prise my nostrils open really wide. It was agony. The nurse and Jenny pinned me down to the bed. Whenever the doctor grabbed him, I could feel him tugging at the inside of my nose. Then all of a sudden, after half an hour, the pain stopped and the doctor had the leech in the tweezers. He was about as long as my forefinger, but fat as my thumb. He could move so fast as well, which freaked me out. I have no idea how he got up there, but he'd have got bigger and bigger from feeding on my blood. He had been curled up in a ball using my nostril as his little nest. So Jenny and I called him Mr. Curly? At one point I could feel him up at my fucking eyebrow.
No. This is enough. That's enough. That's enough.
This podcast.
That's enough.
I'm going home.
Oh.
I need some bee news.
Yeah, somebody say bees. Yeah, I was thinking about that.
I asked the doctor what would have happened
my
if I hadn't
God.
gone to the hospital, and he said he probably would have worked his way into my brain.
Ooh, leeches in the brain. Leeches in the brain.
This just gets worse.
Check the brain.
Oh my god, no! There was fucking pictures at the bottom of this.
Nope.
Look at him later.
No, it's a video.
Oh, hell no.
No!
Okay, so we're done with that story.
Done with that story.
There is a question on it because it's from the mirror, and it says,
course.
"Have you ever had a bug stuck in one of your orifices?
All
Yes
right,
or
I got a
no?"
story.
All right, we
I
got
actually have.
bug stories. Bugs in orifices.
Oh, it's not that bad. Like I don't remember what I was doing, but it was when I was down in Warner Robins, and the gnats and mosquitoes and shit down there are just fucking ridiculous. They call
Right.
it Georgia's Lake Country.
Yeah.
And I had a gnat go into my ear and get
the worst to me. That's the worst.
And it got stuck. And I'm sitting there trying to get it out. And I'm getting Q-tips and I'm trying to get it out. And it never would come out. And then I finally got the hose pipe and just sprayed a bunch of water into my ear. And it came out.
Lord of mercy.
Oh, but it was annoying.
That's the word in the ear.
What about you, Brad?
Silverfishes go in the ear. This isn't my story, but it's the story of somebody we know, Clay Butler.
Yes.
He was our producer for one of our albums, and
mute your phone, bitch.
He's built like a lineman, like an NFL lineman. You know, he's like 6'5", but really fucking fat.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no offense to the man. I mean, he's
a big guy.
It fills in, you know. It works for him, you know.
He's a big guy.
So one day, we talked to him a couple days after this. He was in the bathroom, and something in his belly button was itching.
Oh God!
So he reaches in his belly button, you know, with his finger, and you know, got a deep belly button because he's a fat guy.
Right.
And something just pops out. It just pops and shoots into the sink with a bunch of blood. And he's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck?" And it was something he describes the size of a penny. You know, just a big old white, like calcified thing, and you know, it's just a big old white mass, like a lump.
Yeah.
And
keep going.
So
I'm getting so hard right now.
He's like freaked out. And he shows it to his wife, and they're both like freaked out. He's thinking, "Oh, what if that was a fucking tumor or something?" You know, because it shot out with blood and shit.
Yeah.
Takes it in, you know, with him to the doctor to go get it checked on. Doctor says it was a fucking tick, a tick that had been in there so long it had died and fucking, you know, calcified and just fucking, you know, just gotten solid inside of his belly button. It had been in there so long, and so that's that.
That's amazing.
Jesus.
I've had a tick in my belly, but
I haven't. I had a tick on my ball sack once.
Yeah,
I had that too.
Yeah.
Everybody said that.
All right, so
I haven't.
I've never had
I
to
haven't
get
had
into
that.
my orifices. So I was out in the woods one time, and we were just trekking through the woods because somebody told
Frank.
us that there was like a haunted
Shack.
witch cabin.
Yeah, of
out
course.
It always starts off this way.
Right.
Always.
So we had went out there to go look for
I just
it.
want to interrupt you for a second. There are so many just like dilapidated fucking cabins
Right.
out in the woods in
Yeah.
Georgia. It's ridiculous.
Because, like,
It's just like these. Like there was one over near where I used to live that was so gone, it was literally overgrown with moss.
Yeah.
Like
Because,
it
like,
wasn't. It was just a mound with a chimney.
back in the early 1800s when the Scots and the Irish were here,
Yeah.
that's how they lived.
Yeah, I
It's
know.
like in those
Fucking woods,
old
yeah.
ass
Yeah.
fucking cabins because nobody else wanted to see them because they were outcasts and
Yeah.
crazy shit.
So they said like this is a old
Where's my
witch's
reparations?
cabin. And so we went out there and we were looking for it, and I don't know if we actually found it, but there was a point where we had to step over this bush. And so everybody's stepping over this bush. And we get past the bush, and it's all fine. We go back once we're done, and then we're sitting in the house, and I realized my legs are starting to get really itchy.
Mm-hmm.
And Kristen, the girl that I'm with, and Randy, we're hanging out over at her house is where this is happening. And so she's like, "Oh Jesus, I need to go take a shower now." And so she goes and runs to take a shower. I'm like, "What the?" Oh, and her dad says something about, "Oh, you must have gotten into a tick nest."
Oh, chiggers. I got a story about
So
that.
I'm like,
ticks.
no,
Well,
these
no.
were ticks. These were tiny ticks. So, and I'm
Seed
like,
ticks.
oh,
Little
yeah,
seed
seed
ticks,
ticks,
okay.
yeah. And so she gets done, and she's got a problem with her legs itching and everything. And I'm like realizing my legs are starting to itch too. And so I go into the bathroom and take my pants off. Just bumps from my fucking ankle all the way up to like where my shorts ended.
Do you remember last week when I was itching so bad up around my shoulders and my arms and my legs and shit? It was because you remember those puppies that we found on the side of the road?
covered in seed ticks?
They were just saturated with seed ticks. And while I was running through the woods trying to catch them or whatever,
Right.
I hit one of those nests like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And I went to the bathroom because I had Hannah check me. I was like, "Hannah, make sure there's no ticks on me." Well, she said she didn't see any, but when I went
Right,
to
you
the
don't see
bathroom
them.
later
They're
on
already
that night
under your skin.
to take a shit. Well, they don't go under your skin.
They're
The
just small until they
chiggers
start
go
to-
under your skin.
Right.
The
They're
red bugs
just
go
they're
under
just
your
really
skin.
small and they look like freckles.
Yeah.
because that's the
Yeah.
problem I always had with them.
And I went to the bathroom and I took my shirt off and I'm just looking, and you can still see like a couple of the places where they were just lined up, just every fucking where on my shoulders and my
Yeah.
chest and shit.
Yeah.
And it was so bad. I felt like I had chicken pox.
You ever had to put super glue on your ball sack because of chiggers?
No.
Fingernail polish. Clear fingernail polish.
That
Yeah.
works too.
Yeah.
That works too. Yeah.
Okay.
That's the way
No,
you
I've
get
had
rid
to
of
do
them.
that, actually.
I got more
Yeah.
news.
I've had to suffocate them.
No.
Okay,
I got
more
more
news.
Okay, here we go. Desperate burglar who had sex with teddy bear during raid is caught after DNA match. Paul Mountain. His name's Paul Mountain.
He was mounting something.
Who violated the toy was caught when his semen was found, said he felt an overwhelming need for sexual relief.
So
Why couldn't he just buy a teddy bear? Why couldn't he just buy a teddy bear?
Why didn't he just, like...
Well,
I'm not encouraging this behavior, but you broke into somebody's house.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
I don't think they were there. A Randy burglar
Who's
was
your
caught.
parents?
A Randy burglar was caught after he had sex with a teddy bear while raiding a shed.
Oh, so he couldn't fuck people.
And police discovered his DNA inside the toy. Paul Mountain, 38, said he was coming down from amphetamines and felt an overwhelming
That makes
need
sense.
for sexual relief.
Damn it.
It is believed he cut a hole inside the defenseless bear before getting down to business.
I'll tell you what, them
Black-
amphetamines make you do the silliest things.
Man,
Blackburn,
let me tell you, all the times that I fucked teddy bears on amphetamines, I can't even count it on one hand.
Blackburn
fuck, bro,
Blackburn Magistrates Court heard that the owner of an allotment found a shed had been broken into and the contents were spread all around. On the floor among the wreckage, she found the teddy bear used and abused.
So cold.
Prosecutor Dominic Howell said the teddy bear was passed to the police and semen found inside came back to this defendant. He told officers he was coming down off amphetamines and felt overwhelming need for sexual relief. The warped crook of Darwin, Lonks, pleaded guilty to burglary with intent to steal and was bailed for the preparation of a pre-sentence report.
Wait a minute.
He wasn't charged with teddy bear rape?
Seriously, he didn't get arrested for rape?
He basically raped that teddy bear.
No, he did.
But that's not illegal.
It should be.
Did the teddy bear give consent?
Did the teddy bear give consent?
It's legal as fuck. You can fuck a teddy bear all you want.
No, you can't.
You can't fuck a real bear.
You know what? I think at this point, the SOGOpod is going to take a stance that we are against the rape of inanimate objects.
I agree.
I'm not. No.
I agree.
No,
No,
I-
You can get out of this podcast. Get on the right
wait a minute.
side
Whoa,
of
whoa, whoa,
history,
whoa, whoa,
Brad.
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Get
whoa.
on the right side of
Whoa,
history.
Frank, that means you can't use your fleshlight anymore.
Jayless.
It
yeah.
wants me to,
But it's inanimate.
but it wants.
It's not rape.
But it's inanimate.
You know,
If the
Jayless
fleshlight
sells
is
those
molded
things.
out of Sasha Banks' vagina, then it wants it.
I'm gonna go
Okay.
ahead and clear this up. Frank does not have a fleshlight.
Jayless sells
I
that
have
thing.
a fleshlight that is molded after Tom Cruise's asshole. It wants it.
Yeah,
I
fucking-
would think that
what are they
my
called?
fleshlight is giving me consent, but in most cases, I will say that most inanimate objects are not giving consent, and I
How
am
do you
taking a
know-
stance
What are they
against
called?
raping
The
inanimate
pillows.
objects.
The pillows. What are they called?
Hug pillows,
No, I mean, what's their?
love pillows.
No, they're
Body
actually, they
pillows.
have a name. It's like a Japanese name. What you call them?
I don't know the Japanese for it.
Oh, I have a name.
Badiero pillow.
A couple weeks, we'll
Well,
find out.
and with that, we're gonna end this podcast.
Yeah, the podcast is dead. We're all dead. You're
Yeah,
dead.
we're
Go
tired.
dogs.
Next time on SOGOpod.
Experiment with Frank's asshole.
No,
Sounds good to me.
we eat something because.
Love you, Kinder.
Go to hell, Kenny.
To another place with much more land. I was